Welcome to the Gamesthetic, episode 183, back after the SummerSlam break week that we took. It was great. I had a phenomenal time. I got John here in the studio. John, did you have a phenomenal time with SummerSlam?
I did. There were a few times I almost jumped into y'all's call just for some reactions, but there was a couple times I sat up to jump in and I was like, this time's for me.
Yeah, it's like, this is your time. Yeah. The Braun Breaker stuff.
That was like, after that, I almost jumped up just to like yell in excitement to leave.
Right. She's like, yeah, finally. I'm trying to fix your camera. I need to check these cameras more before we get started. No, SummerSlam was a lot of fun. If you have not listened to our new podcast, A Terrible Wrestling Show, please do so. We'd appreciate that. I know there is at least one other episode in the works with a couple of the other guys, with a local wrestler of that they know. So I've told them, hey, you guys take the reins on that and get that thing set up. But we do have another episode coming later this month because Bash in Berlin is later this month, which already have a banger match right out of the gate with that one with Gunther and Randy. So that's going to be pretty sick. So we're going to have an episode before the Bash in Berlin. So looking forward to that. Make sure to check that out. For today's episode of Gamesthetic, though, final trailer of Black Myth Wukong. So John and I, we're very much able to stretch a 4-minute trailer into a 20-minute conversation.
Last time what was it last time? It was like a minute-long trailer that then the next day we got like a 20-minute gameplay thing on.
Yeah.
And we talked about it for 45 minutes.
Yeah, look, when talking about Black Myth Wukong, it's not that hard to stretch it out. Because, let me unlock my phone here, we are 10 days away from Black Myth Wukong release, which is crazy. That's so insane. I'm so damn excited. So not next episode, but Gamesthetic 185, we'll actually be able to talk about the game, which is awesome. But we've been waiting on this since 2020. So we did get the final trailer for the game. We're going to talk about our hype levels for it and expectations for it, I guess, one last time before the game finally comes out. I got a topic in here of new versus older games. What do you kind of more play these days and kind of why? It's just kind of a topic that I saw pop up from a YouTuber that I follow where he talked about he plays a lot more retro games as of like right now in August 2024. And in his case, he specified defining retro as 360 older. But I'm going to even say even just last generation stuff, whatever. It's like, what do you play more today? Because, I mean, I kind of relate to his sentiment. I've been playing a lot of older games for the first time as well as replays. So we're going to talk about that. And Zach should be here. He did say he'd be here about 7 o'clock our time. So it's about 45 minutes from now. And if he shows up on time, as he said, he will be chatting about Tribe 9. It has its closed beta. If you've never heard of it, fair. It was an anime that he and I watched over at AniMan Plus. I think he finished it. Unfortunately, I didn't because I'm a bitch. I think I got about 5 episodes in and just dropped it. It's just like a really over-the-top baseball anime, but it's like extreme baseball where they're having like Dragon Ball Z level fights throughout the city while playing this baseball. And the game finally launched after multiple years of waiting. And from the looks of it, when I saw it on Steam, it looks like a pixel style, and it's like an RPG extreme baseball game. It seems pretty interesting. So Zach's going to chat about it. And I'm kind of looking forward to hearing about this because I want to know how it translated to a game. John's face right now is so confused by that description.
I clicked on the thing because I saw
Steam
him
page?
playing it.
Yeah.
And I didn't read a description.
Yep.
I just watched a few seconds of the trailer.
Yep.
Would have never got baseball out of that.
Oh, yeah, no. Baseball is definitely an afterthought. It's such an afterthought where when the game was coming out, me and Zach were convinced it was not going to be included. They just weren't going to forget about the fact that it was a baseball anime. But Zach did tell me they did manage to keep baseball in it, where essentially the main villain, I think his name was Zero, he basically rules the entire city. So all the different sections of the city, you're kind of having to take back over because the whole premise behind the series is that you and all the individual tribes, all the different teams they each lock down a section of the city, and then you got Zero coming in and trying to he's basically controlling everything in the game. So baseball is included in some capacity. I mean the baseball aspect for the anime was super interesting concept where it's like the home plate would be like, let's say the tribe's base, but then like all the bases were just random spots all over the city. So it's like first base is this tower, second base is this park, third base is this, and it's like you smack the shit out of the ball, and you have all this cool cybernetic powers and stuff, and then you're literally parkouring across the city, getting to the base. It's an interesting premise, man. I'll give it that. Let me swap to 2 cams. So yeah, the game finally came out, so if Zach can be here on time, we can definitely chat about that here in a bit. Other than that,
I don't know if you keep saying on time. I don't know if it's as much on time as he was like, I might be able to be there around here.
well, that's true, and I think I don't remember if I put for the title maybe Tribe 9 or not. I know I did in the description. Let's see, that title of this show, maybe Tribe 9 is how I titled the episode. Because we'll see. We'll see if he's able to make it, If you can't, no big deal. You can always chat about it next week. But if he's able to make it, we'll chat about Tribe 9. If not, then when the episode's over, I will just change the title and the thumbnail, and we'll pretend that never happened. It's okay. Other than that, we can kind of follow up on the whole Bungie thing that took place last week. I did make a video about it, but, can kind of get John's thoughts and just kind of talk about it. Speaking of video, I did release my 10 weird controllers video. If you have not watched it, please go do so. I had a lot of fun making that video. It's on the Sparky3 YouTube channel as well as the Gamesthetic YouTube channel. For everyone that's watched it, I appreciate you. Same thing with the Bungie video. Thank you for everyone who checked that out. That thing got some steam and kind of took off a little bit, so I appreciate that as well. We'll shout out our sponsors later on in the show with Rogue Energy and Agent Inc. And I think with all that, let's get into it. Black Myth Wukong, baby.
I'm rewatching the trailer right now.
Final trailer.
It's so good.
Oh my goodness gracious, dude. The wait that we've had for this game, man, just the random trailer that dropped in good old August 2020. I think it was IGN that had the first report on it.
It wasn't
And
even
man, just
necessarily
the ride since.
It wasn't even necessarily a trailer. It was like a tech demo.
Yeah.
Where they're like,
here's the game in works. Here's what
it's
we're
like,
kind of where we're going.
Because it was like, it's like, hey, here's early Black Myth Wukong. It's like, the fuck is that?
Yeah. Like, what are we looking at?
Dude, this trailer is so good.
It's also really scary. There was a lot of insects in that trailer. That's going to scare me for the game.
Yeah, it looked like there's at least one big spider boss.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was one portion where there was like a bunch of baby spiders everywhere. Did I see that right?
I haven't come across that.
Okay, I think that's in the trailer.
Like rewatching this yet?
I saw a giant praying mantis, so that should be fun. We'll get through it.
I don't know. It's one of those where, for the most part, I think the game. Like I fucking hate spiders, but it's one of those where sometimes the game can take you away from it.
Right.
And I'm hoping that it does.
Yeah, same.
God, this game looks so great.
It does.
It's so pretty.
It looks phenomenal from a graphical standpoint, just the fluidity of it and just how well everything kind of pieces together. Looks fantastic. The combos, all the different actions that you can do, the weapons. I mean, they showed off a new weapon today with the fire staff.
Dude,
it just looks awesome.
All the transformations too
look insane. You see, like the one where he's got tentacles coming off his back, whatever. That was crazy.
That one freaked me out a little bit.
It did me too. That was crazy.
More so than that, I think I'm coming up on the point in the trailer where it's like it almost. Like transformed to like a wolf running around.
Yeah.
I saw that and I'm like, the fuck?
Right.
But yeah, it's like that's more so than because we know we've seen what looked to be stance changing and different weapon effects and stuff like that before. More so than that, I think the transformations are going to be one of the more fun and interesting ways to for combat to work. Just because at this point we've seen a bunch of them.
Oh my god, yeah. Isn't there supposed to be I thought they gave us a number on how many transformations there were. I don't want to say a wrong number and be horribly wrong. Let me look it up. Let's see, Black Myth Wukong transformations. transformations count? 72.
Yeah.
72 transformations. Shout out to that.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's one of those where depending on how long it or how early you can get all of those, or like at what point you get all those, it'll just make. Because I assume there's some where like obviously you transform to like some sort of wolf thing and to move around quicker. I don't know what all they're gonna be like, because we've seen crazy ones. We've seen them as weird as like transforming into like legs with a rock head,
Right.
and just
Looks insane.
and just slamming down. And it's like it just, and now we've got like the weird tentacles coming out of the back and like flinging stuff around. Man, it looks insane.
Like, just the sheer amount of like creativity that this game's got and just everything they've got going on. Like, dude, it's insane. The scale for it. You know, that's the word I'm looking for. Just the scale of everything they've put into this game looks absolutely insane. Because, like, you know, thankfully for us, it's not a Souls game. It's more in line with like what God of War 2018 and Ragnarok is, which love that. Here for that. That's going to be great. But just like the scale they've gone for, man, like just including like everything that Wukong has had throughout all versions of story, like, dude, like they've knocked it out of the park. Like, game looks great. Like I said, it looks fluid. The gameplay looks incredible. It just looks fun. That's the thing. The game just looks like you're gonna be able to turn it on and just have a good damn time.
In the trailer, like in this final trailer, there's one shot in particular where I got so excited the first time I watched it, and I was like, oh, come on, do it. And it's like when it's first showing you the snowy landscape, and he's standing over like the frozen over pond. He's standing on the edge of it. And when it starts panning across before you actually see the top down shot, I'm like, oh, something come bursting out of that pond.
Right.
Something come just flying out of there right now. And it cuts to the top view and you just see the pulsing red. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Like, dude, my hype levels for the game, like, it was already extremely high. I mean, I came in, you know, into the year saying over and over again, this is my most anticipated game of the year. But now that we are 10 days away at the time of this podcast, like, from the game's release, like, I didn't want to take any time off work for this, but I might have to, even though it's a Tuesday and I hate that so much. I'm going to take some time off for this game.
I'm considering taking the end of the week off.
Yeah, I might take the end of the week off.
I've been in an interesting place with the Black Myth, because last year I got burned a lot being excited for games.
That's fair. You did.
I've controlled my excitement for this game to where I'm like, it's coming out. It's like every time you've mentioned to me when I've seen you, you've been like, all right, we're 28 days or we're 42 days or something away. I'm like, cool, we'll get there when we get there.
Yep.
Just being like, it'll come out and I'll play it.
Yep.
That changed with this trailer.
That changed.
This trailer came out and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
When was the last time you were this excited for a game? Like, would it be just Ragnarok for you?
No, because Ragnarok wasn't one that I necessarily, the excitement kept growing for me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Because it was one where I had a general idea of where it was going to go.
Right.
And I knew it was coming. And like, I was like, okay, I mean, they blew my mind with 2018. I'm just ready for them to do that again. So I was like, I was ready the entire time.
Right.
This has been one where it's weird because
you're trying not to think about it. So it's like almost time goes by quicker.
Also, it's like trying not to think about it, but also we've been waiting on this game to come out for 4 years.
Yeah.
With updates once a year.
Every August, baby. Black Myth month.
We'd see an update once a year, and it would be just a new. It was almost like, here's an updated version of that trailer.
Yeah,
it's kind of what we got.
It was at times. I mean, we got some feature length stuff. Like, there was the one trailer, like I think 2022, where he fought the dragon in the snow area. Like, we got stuff like that, but there was always tidbits that were in the previous trailers, you know, because it was just an update. Like, here's a
it was
graphical
basically just
update,
showing,
you know.
hey, here's what it used to look like. Now look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember back when like the first one came out, me complaining about some of the graphics and how it looked at that. Now I watch this trailer and I'm like, this looks like the best fucking game ever.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's weird to say because I wouldn't say that this is the most excited I've ever been for a game.
That's fair. I can agree to that too.
But it's probably the most excited I've been for a game that I'm pretty sure is going to blow my mind since 2018.
Ooh, here we go.
Because it was the last. I mean, it was God of War 2018 that did it to me.
Yeah.
Because like I said, Ragnarok, I just expected them to do it again, just more.
Right.
But it really was that 2018 God of War, which was the last one where I was like, this excited for something that I'm expecting to just blow me away. Which is a different level of just pure excitement. Right. I was more excited for some games that came out last year than I am right now for Black Myth.
Okay, that's fair.
But because those were unknowns to me. Whereas this, from everything I've seen, it should be what we're expecting it to be.
Yeah. You know, now that you've phrased your answer in that way, you've been making me rack my brain of where it's like, well, shit, what would compare to Black Myth for me? Because when I asked the question to you, my first thought was, yeah, you know, the last one that I was probably just as excited for like this as I was then would probably be like Spider-Man 2, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, you know, those two for sure. Tears of the Kingdom, even though I was kind of quiet hype leading up to it, you know, Horizon Forbidden West. But then you put it, it's just like, well, I know what Ragnarok's going to give me. Like this, I was like, oh, well, fuck. And that kind of terminology, I don't know what the hell mine would be. I have to really date this thing back a little bit.
Yeah, because
that's fair, because I know what all those games I just said were going to give me.
Yeah, it's been a weird level of controlled excitement on my part, which is more of a direction I'm trying to trend.
Yeah.
Instead of just
over the top.
Yeah, instead of over the top. Mainly a lesson from last year.
Yeah. Trust me, I took some lessons from last year in gaming too. I bought a lot of games last year and did not beat them. I did it for the sake of the show, but it still cost me a lot of money. Oh, lessons learned. But no, I mean, like my hype levels, man, they are at an all-time high after that trailer. I mean, just that final cherry on top, you know, leading us up to this release. Like, dude, I'm just, it needs to hurry up. Like, cause I'm with you. You know, you're right. Like all those other games that I named, like, you know, I knew what I was getting myself into. I know what kind of the direction of what, you know, one of them being just a collection of remasters, you know, right? Yeah, I knew where the direction of 3 of those games were going and stuff, but like this one, it's like it's just, you know, it's just gonna be fun, and it's like there's a lot of unknowns to it, and that just makes it even more exciting.
Yeah, it's like we've gotten to see at this point a decent amount.
Yeah,
we've gotten to see boss fights. We've gotten to see running around in the open. We've gotten to see like somewhat how like quests and stuff work in the game. I mean, at this point, it's like, okay, all right. I was sold 4 years ago, and now it's just we're 10 days away.
Right.
So, yeah, just bring it on at this point.
Right. Any predictions on like any review scores and stuff? Like, how do you think this game's gonna do?
I've already predicted this game of the year.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree.
No, in our yearly predictions, I predicted this game of the year.
Yeah, you did. You did. Like, what do you think it's going to do on like Metacritic and stuff? I'd like to think at least 90. 89, 88.
Okay. 93.
93. Like to hear it.
I was in my head, I was like, it's got to be low 90s. I was settling on 92, and then just a little corner of my brain went 93.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, go in there.
I'm feeling 90, which, I mean, that's a great review score. And man, like, I hope in terms of like media and stuff, like I really do hope that it knocks out of the park in that regard, so it can have that opportunity to be a Game of the Year nominee.
Have you seen like like there's been like the
Growing
gotten to play the first 2 hours or something of it. Apparently, the first 2 hours are pretty incredible.
Oh yeah, no, like the conversation around the game, like me and you, we chat about this like over a month, 2 months ago, where it's like there was conversation around it, but not as much as like what we do here on this show, right? The conversation was there, but it wasn't as powerful. Over the last 2 months, the conversation has gotten very powerful.
Well, it's like Summer Game Fest came back around and showed it off, and people are like, "Oh, this game looks cool, but where's the gameplay?" It's like,
I know. It's like, what do you mean?
And it's like, what do you mean? What's the gameplay? It took us 3 years to get gameplay.
Yeah, dude. It's just like, well, it's like, I'm a little worried about this game. They didn't show gameplay. It's coming out in 2 months. It's like there's like 2 hours worth of gameplay online, bro.
It's just one of those where it's like, it was known about by people who went looking for it, because it's one of those where it's like, I didn't know about it the moment it came out. I mean, it's weird to say because like from videos and stuff that I watched around the time the first tech demo and that came out, or like gameplay trailer demo thing that was their first video of it.
Yep.
It's weird to say it just from having seen videos, but it's kind of like you heard whispers about it, and then you finally find your way to the video and you go, "Oh, it's this."
Yeah.
And then just over the years, we just got about 2 years in, we went, "Oh, August."
Yeah. Exactly. It was so funny when like it was like revealed and stuff. Because at this point you had moved out because like I took over your old room as the pod studio, and it just got brought up in conversation between you and I this game, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm really excited for that." It's like, "Oh, so you know about it? Here we go."
Yeah, I think we were just, it was like conversation of like, "Oh, hey man, if you heard any like what games are you excited for?" It's like, I saw a trailer for this game that's like early on. It was Black something.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how the conversation went. I'm like, Black Myth Wukong.
But yeah, no, this game looks incredible. Like I said, I've read some stuff from people who've gotten their hands on the first 2 hours of it or so, and it from everything I've heard with that, it makes me think that because there's some times when games are going to get sent out where people who are reviewing it, they're going to try to get as far in as they can with stuff. Sometimes that's going to be difficult with certain games,
Right.
whether it be just you're not vibing with it or something. From what I've heard about the first 2 hours of this game, it sounds like everybody's vibing with it.
Yeah, everyone's loving it.
Everybody's loving it, which I think is only gonna make those scores rise.
Yeah, which and you're right, because I haven't seen any negative conversation around it so far, besides the people that just don't know about it. Which like we pick fun at them and stuff, but like if you don't know about it, haven't been in your radar, I guess that's fine. You know what I mean? I get it, but I mean, like, anyone that knows about it, has been following it, and ever got the chance to play those first few hours, like I've seen no negative conversation. Which that's what you want leading up to a game. You don't want any negative conversation. You don't want the conversation around Concord, before it comes out this month if it's still coming out. You don't want that, right? And also just to give some further backing that like we have been on this shit since it's revealed. I pulled up the old episode list of this podcast. This exact what's the word? Pod whatever, that you put your pod out on all the different platforms. Episode 17 of this is when it was still on the show was under an old name. Black Myth Wukong is going to be Game of the Year was the name of that episode. August 31st. 2020 is when that episode was posted. We've been on this shit since then. Granted, he wasn't on the show at the time, but we have been on this shit since that date. Like, it's that old, man. Shout out to the old podcast name. I won't say it out loud because it's stupid. But
yeah, that's kind of that's
you can go listen to the episode to figure out the episode name if you want. The pod name. You go check it out. Go boost my numbers.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Like, even back then.
Dude, yes. Because that was after the first trailer, and I titled an episode in 2020, Black Myth Wukong will be Game of the Year. Episode 17 of the show. Like, Shout out, man. We're on
Hey,
183.
cut forward to the year that it's finally coming out, and only one of us backed that title name.
Right. That's true. That's true. That's true. Oh, man. Again, 10 days away, man. Hype is at an all-time high for this dude. Man, I can't wait. I mean, expectations, I do expect it to... I expect it to take the media by storm quite a bit over the course of this month and into next month. Because especially with like the game schedule we've got coming up, like I don't see anything that's going to derail it, you know? I mean, the most notable game to come out after it right now until we get to the fall is, I say notable because it is notable and there's conversation around it, is Star Wars Outlaws, and that's not even going to come close to it.
I have a feeling the first couple days of the release is going to be the discovery of the game. Mm-hmm. I think this is going to be like a rock going downhill where it's like it's going to come out and everybody who's been excited for it is going to just play it and start talking about it. Mm-hmm. And then it's like people are going to hear about it. They're going to start looking into it, and it's just going to be like a whoosh.
Yep. It's going to take off like a dang rocket, dude. Oh, God, man, I'm so excited. Like I said, I'm thinking about taking off some work for it. I haven't decided for sure yet, because I'm trying to save on my PTO for a couple weeks here at the end of the year. But I really want to take some days off for it. I want to so damn bad. I hate that it comes out on a Tuesday. I'm so mad about it.
It's a weird day, but it's also, there's no competition.
I mean, that's true. That's true. You come out that day, you do your thing. I'm also trying to get the boys over at ATFS to hook me up and do the show on Monday. I told them up front, hey, I want to play Black Myth Wukong that Tuesday. If we can not do a terrible football show, I'd appreciate that. I'm trying to push to Monday right now if I can. I'm hoping not. If not, I guess you can catch me live at right here at and actually, no, I'm not even going to say catch me live here at Sparky3. I got to promote the new channel. You can catch me live on youtube.com/ATSN SE3, a terrible sports network. Catch me live there, potentially, that day. Hopefully not. I want to play Black Myth.
You'll just move everything out here, and they'll be talking about it. And you'll just be sitting there like staring intently at a TV set right in front of you.
Oh yeah, I know. And like that episode will be NFC predictions, you know. And it's just like, all right, Alex, you know, how do you think your Chicago Bears gonna do? Yeah, 10 wins. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll just like pull up the whiteboard, and it's like whenever they ask you a question, just move it up slightly for the next answer.
Yeah, it's just like, put on the whiteboard. It's just like, Eagles, here's their record, whatever. All right, so let's see this boss. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Anything else you want to shout with Black Myth?
If anybody listening hasn't, if you're listening and you haven't heard about the game, maybe this is your first time viewing us. As he mentioned earlier, pulling up a podcast from 4 years ago. We've been saying this is going to be like game of the year since we got the first piece of information about it. I think this game is going to be incredible. I think this game should kind of take over the gaming sphere for a while.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard about it, or you've heard about it and haven't looked into it, just go dig into it a little bit. Go watch some videos of it. This game is going to be incredible.
Yeah. This should be a Game of the Year nominee. It should, and it should win Game of the Year. Let's go. 10 days away. And also with that, just in case if you haven't heard of Rogue Energy, let me tell you about Rogue Energy. You can use the referral link down below and promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order, but you don't have to use a promo code. If you just use the referral link, you're helping the brand. If they've got a better sale going on, that's fine. Don't feel bad. Just use the link, and you're going to help us out. Whether if you want to get the hydration line, the chill, or the energy line, whether it be powder or cans, they're all fantastic. I recommend them all. The cans Black Cherry Lemonade is to die for if you want to get the powder, Rocket Pop, Strawberry, Kiwi, Grape, Popsicle, all great ones. That brand new chill line does also help. I drink one every night. It helps me enjoy my evening. So make sure to check out Rogue Energy with the referral link down below. Promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order. I'm getting good at these. I'm getting good at those.
I'm gonna throw this at you because I didn't say anything about this before. I just saw this, forgot about it, just looked it up.
Okay.
Have you seen this Dragon Ball Project Multi?
No. What are you talking about? What is this?
Dragon Ball Project Multi.
All right.
It is a Dragon Ball MOBA for like App
shit.
Store and Steam. This looks. I was gonna save it till we were on here. This kind of looks up your alley. They're doing a beta starting like August 19th, I think, and running to I think September 2nd. They have like a YouTube video and stuff you could watch if you want to on it. I mean, this is something that might be up your alley. I watched the video on it. The video looks so shit.
But it's up my alley.
I mean, this looks. I know you have played like mobile MOBAs.
I have.
And you've played MOBAs and stuff on your phone and your Switch and stuff. So I know what you enjoy.
I mean, you're not wrong, my friend. Here it is on Steam, so at least it's going to be on PC.
It's going to be on Android, Apple, and Steam.
Okay.
But yeah, if you see like the video for it, they have like a little gameplay thing for it. You could just like click to like the middle of it when they start showing like Kamehameha Blast. They look so fucking dumb.
Dragon Ball's first ever 4v14 battle.
They're so big and so short. It doesn't make any sense.
I think it's kind of weird that we're getting a Dragon Ball themed MOBA when we already have the Jump themed MOBA also coming out. You know what I mean? Like that just feels like an odd combination of releases because I feel like you're just taking away. Those look so stupid.
This is why I wanted to bring this up to you. It looks so shit. I mean, it looks fine for what it is.
Yeah, it looks fine for what it is. Yeah,
it's like the actual special attacks and stuff look so shit. Just for reference, it's like a lane in any other MOBA game.
Yeah,
but they have a blast taking up 2/3 of the screen, but it only goes like it goes like twice the distance of the width of the blast, which makes it look so dumb.
Yeah, it looks like a little chode. Like what the hell? Like it just stops. It just stops.
That's. But yeah, I figured I'd bring this up to you because this looks like something that you would at least want to attempt to play.
I will, in fact, play this.
And like I said, there's a beta that I think the beta starts on the 18th or the 19th or the 20th that you can go to their website and sign up for.
I will be.
I think
signing
you can
up
sign up for it, or it may just be available.
Yeah, it also said request access on Steam, so I will, in fact, be signing up for that because I'm a sucker for a bad MOBA.
Yeah,
like I just am, man. Because look, listen. I'm not a great MOBA player. All right, I had my moment in HOTS, which is a baby MOBA in my mind, where I had a time period where I was solid, not good, but I was solid. But like in League, I had a few times where I was okay. Those, I feel like those are the big boys. You know what I mean? So I can hop on Arena of Valor, Pokemon Unite, or this or the Jump one, and I can wreck house. And I just have it scratches the itch for me.
Well, that's the thing.
It scratches the itch.
It's like
I'm a bad gamer. I made a video about it. Go watch it.
Yeah, this is just one where like I saw this pop up. I saw the video of it, and I went, "Oh, that looks so shit." But Alex will love it.
I will. I'm gonna have a great time with it, man. Just like I'm gonna have a great time with the Jump one too. I'm excited for the Jump one. Jump a symbol. I think it looks fun for what I'm looking for something like that. Like I said, man, I'm a bad gamer. I made a short about it. I made a video about it. All right, I fully admit this. So it's like these kind of games give me the itch because it's the same concept for Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Love Yu-Gi-Oh. Have loved it since I was a kid. It's gotten so over the top and complex. I'm a dipshit. I'm not even going to try to play it anymore. But if I ever get the itch to want to play Yu-Gi-Oh, I hop on Yu-Gi-Oh Pro and I just play against the AI. I get my itch. I move on. That's MOBAs for me. I play these crappy mobile MOBAs, get my itch scratched, and I'm like, all right, let's move forward. Let's go do something else. So I will be playing this. Project Multi. Looks dumb. Still don't understand why we're making it, though. Because, again, you got Jump a Symbol coming out. Like, I don't know. That's kind of weird. But whatever. It's a thing. I'm going to play. Are you going to play it with me?
I'm probably not going to play.
John.
It looks so shit.
That's exactly why we should play it.
This is like
we can talk about it on the show. Fuck Black Myth Wukong. We're talking about this. Kidding.
That was...
Kidding. Calm down.
Those are Those are words that should never have been put together in a sentence.
Yeah, we're not talking about Black Myth Wukong. We're talking about Dragon Ball Project Multi here in a couple weeks, my friend. You said the beta starts this month, right? Yeah, we're talking about this.
Hey, you could talk about that all you want to. When I start talking about Black Myth, I will allow you to leave.
Wow. That's fair. No, it does look shit, but I will play it. And I will probably enjoy it.
Like, it's harsh to say that. I don't mean it looks.
It looks fine. Like you said, it looks fine for what it is.
It looks goofy.
Yeah, that's a good word too. Goofy.
It looks goofy, and it's like you've recommended some of these weird mobile MOBAs and stuff to me before, where I'm like, where it's like I start playing it, I'm like, I don't get the fun in it. I'm just stomping everybody.
That's fun to me. Steve says, leave Dragon Ball Z alone, man. What do you mean, man? Like, yeah, we're talking about Dragon Ball Project Multi. Go look at it, and you'll see what we're talking about. Steve, play it with me.
I almost forgot about this. It was like, you said something earlier that...
Whoa, Steve. Black Myth looks like a hot dog water with dog dookie step in it. I know you're just trying to rile us up because you know that we are both excited. I will ban you from this chat, my friend, and I will come to your store on Monday, and I will kick you in the nuts.
Hey, you can't... This is a positivity zone when it comes to Black Myth.
Positive vibes only, buddy.
That being said, like, I mean, we're all in on it. We've been hyping up Black Myth for years. If it comes out and it's shit, believe me, I will be in here ranting and raving.
Facts. That's gonna be a depressing day in history if it comes out and it is hot dog water. But I don't think it will. It looks too good.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. It looks too damn good. All the reviews on it are too positive right now. So. Oh geez, I'm glad you showed me about this because that missed my timeline completely.
Yeah, I don't know why it came to mind. It was one where like I've had that in my back pocket ready to mention it to you. I've been waiting all week to tell you that.
Right here on the show, catch my reaction live.
And I had closed the tab with it open, and you said something earlier, and I was like, "What does that make me?" And I started looking. I was, "Oh yeah."
Jesus Christ. All right, let's hit our next topic. We'll spend a few minutes on this, and hopefully Zach will be here in like the next 15 minutes or so, and he can chat about Tribe 9. I haven't gotten a text. I keep checking him to see if he's going to text me. He's like, oh, hey, I can't make it or whatever. So I think he's still good to go and be on the way. So yeah, got a topic lined up of new versus older games. What do you more so kind of lean towards and play, and kind of why? Is it just tied down to simply they're better games, have more heart, have more passion maybe? Maybe it just comes down to nostalgia, comfort games, whatever the case is. And this goes for, I would say this can apply to anything. It can apply to single player games. It can apply to multiplayer games. 'Cause I know like in your case, Rocket League is a mainstay for you. It's a pretty large game there. But like, in just whatever capacity, like I said, I saw it was RGT85 put up a video about this, that he's been playing a lot more retro games than any new games that's come out this year. And I've been kind of in the same sentiment because like I thought about it, I was like, man, you think about the new games I've played this year: Unicorn, Persona, college football. Shit, that might be it. I can't think of anything. There were games that I was excited for, but like they weren't excited enough for me to go pull the trigger and spend money. You know what I mean? Like I still want to play Rise of the Ronin. I'm just going to get it on a fucking sale. Like I'm not going to go out and buy it right now. Like there are some games coming up I'm getting immediately. You know what I mean? Like I'm excited for Metaphor. Obviously Black Myth. Those are going to be two of my next purchases. I'm excited for those, but it's like
Visions Mana when it comes out.
Yeah, Visions Mana for you. Man, there was another one that like was really high on my radar coming out this year that I was looking at, but I'm trying to remember what it was.
There's that Zelda game.
Yeah, Zelda. There is Super Mario Party Jamboree, which I just like playing games like that for just a chill time. But there was another like RPG that was coming out that I was really excited for, but I'm drawing a blank on what it is. But it's just like the new games for me. Like even looking at last year, right? I bought so many games last year and tried to talk about them for the show. Didn't finish any of them. I even have at least one new game I bought last year. Have never even put it in my console. which probably a good thing according to you is Dead Rising 2.
That
Or Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2.
That is one where that could have been just me.
Yeah, it could have been.
There's
yeah.
other people that seem to really enjoy that game.
Yeah.
It was not for me.
But like even last year, man, it's like I think about the games last year where it's like nothing kept my attention. I kept finding myself going to replay a game, even if the game I replayed was only a few years old, like let's say Persona 5 Royal, or maybe Red Dead Redemption 2, or Marvel Spider-Man 1, only a few years old, but like even now, like this year, the games that I've completed and played this year are again older games. Like I've played, Persona 5 Royal again this year. I played Persona 4 Golden for the first time. I've picked back up Super Mario Sunshine here recently over trying to go complete Odyssey for the first time. Yep, admission, have not beat Odyssey. Right now, playing Fire Emblem Awakening for the first time, and that came out in 2012. Like, these aren't like super, super old. I'm not, but with the exception of Sunshine, I'm not dating back to like the N64 or Super Nintendo. But it's like I find myself going back to older games, and I feel like at this point right now, like I find myself going back to replay older things and play older things for the first time than picking up anything new. Like there's even like a large list of games I have on my radar that I want to buy soon that also fall into that category.
Hello, Zach.
Hello, Zach. Welcome to the show.
The game you're thinking of is 33, by the way.
I was gonna ask
yeah.
him if it was Expedition 33.
No, well, I mean that comes out next year, so it wouldn't
that
be
was
that
gonna
one.
that was gonna be my question. Was I thought Expedition 33
I know
was.
you've mentioned, so.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm
was
really excited for that.
That's what
one.
came into my head, but I was like, I think that comes out next year.
Yeah, that's next year. So I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm gonna have to go look at a game list and figure it out. But it's like, that's just kind of the vibe that I've been in, where it's like, there are new games that are coming out that's like, oh, that looks really cool. I'd like to check that out. But it's like I still find myself gravitating to older stuff. So just kind of the conversation, where do you guys kind of gravitate to? Older stuff, or more so wanting to check out this new stuff, and kind of why? Like, is it comfort, or is it just because they're better games, or what is it?
I play games that have been around for years that they keep adding additional content to.
RuneScape.
Yeah, basically.
In the like this year, games I've played the most of, old school RuneScape, Path of Exile, but also newer games. I've played a lot of the first Descendant.
Yeah, you have.
since it came out.
I feel like every year there's always like that one like new like live action like free to play game whatever that will come out for you that you just get hooked on, because Lost Ark was one like a couple years ago for you.
It's like Lost Ark. I am very quick to jump in on these super grindy action combat long-term live service games, especially if they have pay-to-win elements that I'm not going to pay for.
So you can prove a point.
Yes, but
Prove a point and
the
then
point is
retire from the
proven
game.
very slowly.
But when it does, he proves his point and he retires from the game.
But yeah, I kind of I love jumping in on those games. The fact that a lot of them do have like in some instances pay to win elements, and then in instances like First Descendant, it's pay to progress because there's no like PvP elements into the game. I don't want to pay for them, but also I'm taking a bit of a break from First Descendant while they're constantly adding more quality of life updates to it, mainly because I've gotten back into Path of Exile again, which is another game that I've been playing on and off for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's more my trajectory of playing games. Is my interest bounces between games I've been playing for like 5 to 10 years that I'll play for a couple months, and then I bounce and I play something different, and then I bounce and I play something different, and then I bounce back to them, and I just go in a cycle where I just play these same games over and over again. And then occasionally even one of the games I was most looking forward to last year, Baldur's Gate 3, I played like 2 or 3 campaigns on it that played like 20 hours in or something, and then stopped, and then started another one, and then played it. And it wasn't until like a couple months or like a month and a half ago that me and my buddy actually completed our co-op game. But it's like that's been my problem. Same with you, where I will start something and getting to the end of it is the challenge for
It
me.
is very challenging for me because like I know like last year, 2 games off the dome, I think I beat an entire calendar year that were new, and that was what Tears of the Kingdom and Spider-Man 2. I think that's all I beat last year.
I don't think I beat a game last year.
Didn't, because we talked about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I think I beat those 2, and then I beat Persona 5 for the first time, which that I didn't count that since that was new to me but older, released there by a couple years. But I think I only beat two new games last year, and so far this year. Shit, Persona 3 Reload. I think that's it. That's the only thing I've beat in terms of like new games. I think that's it for me. Now have I beat some other games that are older? Yeah, but in terms of new stuff, it's like Persona 3 Reload, which again is also a remake of an older game. So it's like an older game is the core. It's the DNA of the game, in some form or fashion. So it's like gravitating to older games, like there could be a large list of reasons for it, whether it be the stuff that you talked about where it's like this free to play stuff. For me personally, I think it comes down to a lot of just like comfort games. It's like adulting, busy. We're all 3 of us can outside of the pod, we're very busy adults, so it's nice to just kind of have that comfort games that you can always kind of go back to.
That's part of
experience for the first time.
That's part of like this series of rotating through these games that I've been playing for a long period of time is like Path of Exile. They like every 4 to 6 months they create a new league with new content and all kinds of stuff for it. I don't go back and play it every time. I'm not going back and playing the core game mode like standard all the time. I let it rotate through. It's like usually I'll get really into it and I'll put a couple 100 hours into it or something. And kind of let it sit, and then I'll let a couple leagues rotate through, and then I jump back in. Mm-hmm. Same thing with like some of these other games, like RuneScape. But a couple months ago, I was obsessed with RuneScape. Taking a bit of a break from it right now, because started losing interest, started burning out. So it's like, okay, take a little break, come back to it.
Feel that.
And I kind of just go on cycles through all these games. And then like First Descendant, how it's been, it's basically what Lost Ark was for me, where I find my new free to play game.
Yeah, it filled the void for you
that comes out. Because I did it with New World too, except that wasn't a free to play game.
Yeah,
no,
I just find these new new multiplayer like MMO light type games to play, and I'm like, all right, that's gonna be my new obsession for a few months.
Right. What about you? Because I know you're a case where you'll just play anything.
Pretty much.
Like we know that's well established on the show, but it's like me and you, we're like avid like retro hunters and stuff. It's like what do you more kind of lean towards? Because again, I know you play anything, but like, do you have in your mind like something you probably lean towards more than anything, and kind of why?
I mean, the main thing, if we're talking just what's the general play, mine would probably actually be leaning towards new. I mean,
You do try a lot of stuff.
then that's more or less the thing,
Yeah.
because I will search through games that release just wherever and whenever, even like in stores, and just go, this has an interesting character design, graphics look interesting, mechanics seem interesting, and that's all it takes. As long as one thing sparks my interest, I'll go for it.
Right.
For like instance, like there's one that actually just came out, which I need to pick up, called Dustborn. It's on 360, PlayStation. Don't think it's on PC, but it seems to be sort of almost like a apocalyptic narrative, story-driven game, which seems right up my alley. So
Yeah. No, and that is accurate for you, because you will try so many games. Because I feel like it's such an interesting conversation of like differing like mindsets, where it's like in your case, like you'll definitely play some older stuff and try to hunt for it to own it and everything, but like I feel like for you it's just like, well, I mean, I've played that before. This looks cool. This is on my alley. Let me try this.
Pretty much.
And meanwhile, me over here, it's just like, yeah, I've played this before, but like I kind of just want to sit back and enjoy it again. You know what I mean? Like it's an interesting differing of mindsets when it comes to stuff.
You beat Reloaded this year.
Yep.
I got about halfway through Reloaded, and I went, I know how the rest of this is going to go. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'll come back to you.
Yeah, and see, like even though that's the case for me with games, like I don't stop. Like if I start it, it's pretty rare for me to stop unless there's something else that happens. Because like just off the dome, because I see the disc plate in front of me. Another one would be like with the Legend of Zelda franchise. Tears of the Kingdom is fantastic. Breath of the Wild is fantastic. But like
I was gonna say,
Calm down. What?
Out of those 4 posters, for
That's not the one that you thought I was going.
for everyone, it's a Legend of Zelda, Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2 specifically, and then our creme de la creme, Mass Effect.
The confusion for me sitting here is I can't tell that that's Legend of Zelda from here.
I mean,
the
that's
end,
fair.
yeah.
That's
And
fair.
I'm looking at it, and he starts talking Tears of the Kingdom. I'm like, what?
That's fair. All right, that's fair.
I will say I'm also the complete opposite of you, where you will play a game, and you will be more than happy to roll credits on a 100-hour game, and hit new game.
I really will.
Yeah.
You
I
are
really
more
will.
than willing. You are more than willing and more than happy to do that. Me, I will roll credits on a 30-hour game,
And he
I
throws
will-
that shit in the back of his
Yeah,
closet.
yeah, it's gone forever.
The best example of this for me is Fire Emblem Three Houses. You played through that game
Like 6
like,
times.
so many times. I played through that game one time, had my enjoyment with it, and I was like, I'm not even going to attempt to play it again. I've gotten my story out of it.
Yeah. What's funny, boys, I'm about to play another playthrough of that here soon, too. That's what's funny.
I was going to ask, you ever finish Engage?
No, that's actually going to be the next one that I play in my Fire Emblem rotation that I'm doing. Once I finish Awakening, I'm going to engage.
Oh, you're playing Awakening right now?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm playing Awakening for the first time.
Wait, why are you going Awakening then Engage?
Oh, I'm just hopping around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just hopping around. So I'm going to engage next. I would like to go to Fates, but she's going to Fates.
Does she actually have revelations?
We just got it recently.
That's good for you.
Yeah. So we just got it recently. So she's going to Fates, and then once she's done with Fates, I'll take it. But I'm going to engage next. But I am actually, funny enough, going to do a 3 Houses run soon because full admission, there's still one route I've never beat, and it's the route that you completed. Because if it remind me,
Like Eagles?
you went against Edelgard, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that is the only route that I have not complete. I completed the side with her because I knew that's the one that you did not do. So because I knew what happens in your route because you told me. So I was like, oh, okay, well, let's see what happens in this one. So that is still to this day the only route I have not beat. I got to like chapter 15 or 16 and I stopped playing. Something else came out. I don't remember. So I'm gonna finally finish
Yeah.
that game here soon.
But yeah, the way you play games where you can do that, where you can just happily restart a game and play it again. I don't have that in me. Like if I'm more than, I mean, as I've shown on this podcast before, I'm more than willing to play a game for 8 hours and go, no, I'm not doing it anymore, and drop it and never touch it again.
Yeah.
Because I've done that a lot.
Right.
At some games I want to go back and actually give another shot to, that I've done that to. But also it's like I don't care. I'll play a game. I could be in the best part of a game 3/4 of the way through it and just stop playing it for no other reason than I just didn't go back to it. There's not really a reason to it. It's like I've done that to a bunch of games that I should have gone back and played or gone back and finished because they were really good. But on the opposite note, like if I play through a game and beat it, I'm probably not going to go back and play that game again for a long time.
Right.
And it's coming around on some games that I really enjoyed where I'm kind of getting the itch to play them again, but it's probably been 10 years since I played them.
See, and that's also where, again, like what you're pointing out is different with me is I've got games that I completed in the last 2 years. And I'm like, I think it's about time to bust it back in. I think it's time for another playthrough. I don't know. It's just, it's an interesting differing of mindsets. You know what I mean? Like I'm definitely kind of on my own little island over here of where it's just like, I like playing a lot of comfort games these days. You know, games, I guess it is just a situation. It's like, you know, I know what's kind of coming, but it's like, you know, I know what's coming. It's just very comforting. You know, it reminds me of something, or maybe it's just like, you know, a certain element of the story. It's just like reminiscent of childhood or whatever, playing it then. Because like what I was going with Legend of Zelda earlier was like Twilight Princess, to me, I think is still the one that I find myself, I'm going to go replay that one over any other Zelda. Because it's also one, it's more condensed. I can beat it very quickly. But then it's just a very comforting game, you know, playing it from my childhood. Still loving it today. You know, I do pretty frequent playthroughs of the game. So No, the old versus new conversation. It is an interesting conversation because I feel like everyone's mindset's on it different. Where it's like you got people like Zach who's just like, I've played this, I enjoy this, but here's something new. Let me try this, and I'm over here like I like my comfort games. Let's play that.
Shoot, it's not even anything necessarily new.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, I go, "What piece of shit free-to-play game do you have for me to spend my time with?"
You know what's funny, John? I was listening. I heard you mention the Dragon Ball multi thing. And that appeared on my timeline today too.
Oh, okay. So I'm the only one that didn't get it.
I got it. I got it on like Monday.
Yeah.
I've been holding on to that one.
I'm the only one that didn't get it. That one's up my alley. Damn it.
Yeah, I looked at it and went, "The hell is this? Why are you suggesting this to me?" And moved on.
Right? It does look bad, but I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna have fun. All right, let me shout out our other sponsor here, and then we can hop into some Try 9. Shout out to Asian Ink. You can use our referral link down below. Pick up one of the 2 hats or one of our jerseys, and we would appreciate that support. Rather, if you want to get the Trash Can hat, the Sparky 3 hat, the Sparky 3 jersey, whatever. Just pick up some stuff over at Agent Ink. It's a great place to shop. Appreciate you.
Sorry, Mike.
Hey, don't knock the mic over. Don't be like Ricky now.
Oh man, I just want to throw something out there because I forgot the date of the pre-order and missed out on it.
For what? Black Myth Collector?
Well, that too. Well, that I didn't have the money for it
Yeah, that
when
was
it
expensive.
launched.
You had an Affirm card.
Yeah, I just paid it off reasons I didn't want to.
You had an Affirm card.
I know, but I'm getting out of debt first. Getting more stabilized first.
Firm is dangerous.
Yeah, I went nuts for a while.
Firm is dangerous.
But no, the Astrobot controller.
Oh, yeah.
I missed out on that.
Oh, I guess I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I missed out on the pre-order too. 'Cause I really wanted it.
By the time I remembered it, I went and looked it up. It sold out pretty quick.
It looks sick.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to mention, man, that would have been cool to have.
Oh yeah. No, the Astrobot's one that I'm excited for, but it's one that I'm not going to get day one.
It's one where like you'd mentioned a couple controller, like the Concord controller.
Yeah.
You were big on the Concord
I think it
controller.
looks awesome.
I'm less big on that one. The Astrobot one looked fucking cool though.
Yeah. I do wish that the controller they released like for us would have matched like the Astrobot like controller they show in the game. But I don't know, but like I love the one they came up with because I love that it's like simple and subtle and stuff. But like the art that they have for the controller, like in game, that you can like put on as a skin on the controller that you fly around. Cause it's like his little ship basically. Oh, dude, the skin looks so cool. It's like super graphical, over the top, in your face, and I'm about it. But I do enjoy that the one they did actually come up with, and I really want it. I really want it. Unfortunate missing out on it, but is what it is. So Zach, how's Trap 9 treating you, my friend? Been waiting on this one for a while. Wasn't the game announced like right after the anime ended a couple years ago?
No, the game was actually announced before the anime.
Oh, it was one of those situations.
Yes.
Because it wasn't the same thing with like Talk Opt, where the game was announced and the anime came out, I think.
No, that one was anime.
Okay,
and they announced it at the end
I'm
of the
mixing
anime.
my shit up then. So yeah, Trap 9's been floating out there for a hot minute.
Yeah, because it had a trailer in like a Summer Games Fest.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it was out of nowhere because I specifically looked at it and was like, oh, this looks like it has the Danganronpa art style, which the story and stuff is by the Danganronpa series writer and whatnot. Not done by the same team because that's a different team. It's a different team this time because this isn't a single, just linear story game. Because if I told you this is a action RPG baseball simulator,
Yeah.
that is the game that it is.
Yeah, and it's got like that pixel art style too. I saw that.
Yes.
Looks clean. I like that approach for it.
Oh, no, it
honestly.
is very clean.
Yeah, it looks. I was checking it out on Steam. It looks very, very clean.
Yeah, which actually,
So I gotta ask. Like,
So-
I know you kind of told me via text, but like, I want to know like, how does it work? How does baseball fit into this in the game?
so
That's the big question I've got.
you remember the anime we watched?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Shout out to AniMan Plus. Rest in peace.
That's canon. That was literally
Okay.
our villain's origin story.
Okay. All right. So the MC that I said didn't die is dead, and we had our whole story and everything.
Yeah, I didn't finish the anime, but based on context I've gotten from the opening of the game, it didn't end well.
The anime doesn't end well.
It didn't end well.
Okay. Well, good to know.
Because the whole, like, I gotta say, I was trying to look up their name because I can't remember the name of who did.
Action RPG baseball simulator,
Yes.
Steve, is what he said. Steve said, defunct baseball what? Yeah, Steve, it was an anime that came out a few years ago that Zach and I reviewed on AniMan Plus, Tribe 9, if you want to look into it.
Kazutaka Kodaka is the original creator of Danganronpa and has a hand in Tribe 9. It's very much the art style and everything, and hits on stuff that is in Danganronpa in their other game, which I can't remember right now, that released on Switch. But it's very atmospheric because the opening of the game is just...
I would hope so with how the anime, kind of framed the city and stuff.
More or less, it opens up with just a room with a black screen, or not a black screen, with a TV screen, like an old, I can't remember what they're called right now, but a back TV screen with a back, just a stack of games and like a console, an old style console there. And it just sort of starts up, and it starts up like a classic RPG, like Dragon Quest, old Dragon Quest, whatnot. And it's just got 3 save files, one that has a character's name with 9,000 hours in it, and then 2 other files which are just great, are just dead. It just says RIP. And it goes into and it starts the whole game and starts you in this like Dragon Quest Inn, playing as a character, just doing crap. Fetch quest for a goddess statue. You literally go get some herbs, run back to her. She does nothing with the herbs, tells you to go look in a pot. The pot's empty. And this whole time your character's like, why am I doing this? Why can't I remember anything before coming here? And then he randomly sees somebody in the sky. He's like, is that person flying? And this person, it's one of the characters. He just sort of, it's like, oh, did I get spotted? Oh, well. And walks off. Only to have an explosion, reveal the whole thing, which is a great cut how they did this. It's just, so people come in, show up to rescue, and it's just quick cut because it's just a straight face down of like a classic 2D art style RPG. So it's flat. And then when it finally switches and the character has the reveal that this has all been fake, it switches to 2.5D and shows like everything he's been seeing is just like cardboard cutouts. It's literally just things that are painted literally on a roof. And because like if you look around, it's you can see the skyline and everything, but it's just been straight down. So it's just art that's been painting on a roof that he's believed that it's his whole world this entire time because he's been brainwashed by Zero. It's just a wild term because the story itself has been fantastic so far, and everything. Sets up a whole thing of Zero took over all of Neo Tokyo, defeated all the tribes, took over all 23 cities, created a 24th city which is flying in the sky, which you're currently residing on. This group of people showed up to take out a system of his deadly laser satellites, which he uses to pinpoint shoot anyone he feels the need to.
So it's like the weapon from Captain America Winter Soldier, basically.
Yeah.
It's just like, we're just going to kill out any possible threat, even before they're a threat.
No, he chooses the threats.
Okay. All right.
And it has 100% accuracy.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Goes into the whole tutorial level, has you learn how to fight and things like that. So the main exploration is that sort of 2.5 16-bit, which is actually very, very nice and engaging, honestly. And then actual fights is done in a 3D action format. So everyone becomes 3D and has their weapons and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I was over here clicking through the pictures on Steam. You could, if just from those pictures, you can't tell what type of game this is.
Yeah.
half of it's like an old school RPG, and then the next picture is like an arena with shit happening everywhere. And I'm like, this game isn't a game. It doesn't know what it is.
It does though, because
it's super unique.
That's the combat part, is the 3D arena, and the actual exploration is done in that 2.5D.
Okay.
In which the whole, it doesn't really explain it, but yeah. And then it's also got his visual novel aspect, just because the creator is very much does these different play styles with the visual novel aspect, which is fairly also
Nothing
normal.
wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah, all just to lead to you go through all this stuff, learn the combat and things like that to get to the escape pods, only for the big bad to show up, Zero, and be like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" He's just there to mess with them. Quite literally, he's just there to mess with them. And he destroys all the escape pods with his giant laser. They're all like, "But we destroyed the system." Yeah, I can just control it with my mind. That was sort of just a external thing for show. And more or less, there's a whole bit and thing about he's overly powerful. They can't really do anything to stop him. But he's kept your character, you, locked on his brainwashed rooftop for 2 years to train him to be to compete against him in a game.
So like he wants his own like rival, I guess.
No.
No.
Zero's just contempt with boredom. So to combat his boredom, he's found what he's called the numbers, which is all the people who are candidates to be the one to play him in a game to relieve him of his boredom and all his death games, in which he calls XG, but the baseball is called XB.
Okay, fine. I'm sitting over here and I'm about to interrupt you to just go, how the fuck does baseball factor into this?
I was wanting to know, how do we play baseball?
So our main character, so the whole story with this is like, so as Alex mentioned earlier, Tribe 9 was set up in 23 cities. There was different tribes that control the cities. And before that hand, there was more or less gang wars. Everyone was killing each other. And then XB was formed, in which it became people decided conflicts through extreme baseball, which consists of challenging people, and your two teams would go up against each other. Whoever won became the winning tribe, and the other tribe had to listen to them. All right? Well, origin story from the anime, Zero shows up, White beats everybody, takes over all the cities. More or less, he hasn't extinguished XB, but he's made it irrelevant because he's now been like, hey, we got to decide things by games, and they're all death games, so if you lose, you're going to die. And also our hero, apparently 2 years ago when Zero was taking over all the cities, he managed to fight Zero to a slight standstill, but Zero still won in the end. So Zero, and he also happened to be an exceptional XB player. So during all this shenanigans at the top of the roof with the escape pods where Zero's destroying everything, he also happens to murder our hero's two best friends, which are the ones who showed up to rescue him with the crew. He lasers both of them, one through the heart, one through the head. Also, your hero has an amnesia, by the way.
Loving an amnesia hero.
So during all this, he's just like, what do we do? What do we do? We can't beat him. We can't run away. I challenge you to XB. And Joe's just like, I mean, that's a game. Sure, we'll play. And he's just like, if I win, you join in my death games and go deal with all the numbers. If you win somehow, I'll leave you all alone. I'll let you go free. Thus begins our baseball simulation.
Okay, so how do you play the baseball?
So I'm also curious how this works because it didn't.
What a great way to start the explanation.
Well, because it didn't fully go through it because this was the tutorial, so it was just scripted. It literally just tells you bases. So like, it explains how for pitching and batting there's iconical with these series games from Danganronpa is the debate system. There's always somewhere where you debate where you're using words to fight the other opponents or whatnot. And in terms of this, for the debate on pitcher side, you have to choose a proper set of whatever words to combat whatever the opponent said to either get them to strike out or hit the ball where it's going to be caught by one of your fielders. All right? And then on the batting side, more or less you have the 9-space section square box for batting, and more or less you choose which zone of the batting area you want to swing at and hope and find the best words to combat whatever the pitcher's saying. And you get tells based on the words in the background whether this zone's going to be good, whether it's going to be bad, yada, yada, yada. But the thing that it only explains the base, how that's done, and then there's a whole tension system where based on how if your plays are good or bad, it raises or lowers, and the higher it is, allows your team to show off their skills. But it didn't actually explain any stats in terms of how the runners versus offense versus defense players stats come into effect, because if you get a hit, the ball flies, and if they don't catch an out, they can still try and stop you, because the whole thing how XB works is like normal baseball, you got to run through all the bases. But if you're running, as long as a person touches you with the hand that the ball they're holding is, you're out. On the verse, as long as you don't get touched, you're good with the ball. And the whole thing is like if two come into contact, they fight. And it didn't really explain the stats on how that's decided, just because it's scripted and Zero's OP, so he just naturally beats everyone. So that's the only thing I'm confused about XB, because I haven't played far enough in the game yet to get an actual non-scripted XB game. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if there is currently one in the...
What you have?
Yeah, and the content that we have available. So yeah, that's how baseball is. And I also don't know how the whole thing is, because you need 9 characters to fill out the team. And as it stands, how much I've played, I only got 7. And I ran out of gacha money. Because it is a gacha game, by the way.
I mean, naturally.
Just more adding to it.
Yeah.
Zach,
It's like what Steve said. Steve said, bro, I can't. This game sounds so intentionally convoluted, just to infuriate Americans.
Zach, I knew this was going to be a gotcha game, or like a you got to throw money at it game. You know how? I look at it on Steam. It says it's similar to 2 games that I play.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
First Descendant, Lost Ark.
It's gonna be free to play when it comes out. So
And I'm sitting there and I look at it, I go, oh, so you throw money at this game.
Yeah.
yep. Quite literally. So yeah, it's been an experience. Then yeah, after you do the whole XB thing, it starts the whole thing and explains that.
Do they have Dragon Ball Z level fights in the XP like the anime did?
No, they do have nice little cutscenes of the combat, which I assume settles stats and whatnot. But it hasn't had like overly extreme, which I assume it will
I assume so too.
whenever it introduces how skills work in XB, because it
Yeah.
didn't introduce skills besides Zero right at the end of the scripted XB throwing a death ball, which is just a giant purple spirit bomb.
Yeah, I see. I feel it's like it's Frieza's death ball, basically.
And MC naturally believed in the power of friendship and hit the ball.
Of course he did.
No, like straight up.
he did.
Straight up during that whole final showdown with the pitching and batting, he's just like, he straight up goes Zero. It's like, it's not because you're bored, Zero. You can't enjoy XP because you have no friends.
Oh man, I guess they've recently read some fairy tale and they're just like, we really just need to implement some power of friendship in this.
Yeah, it was a thing.
And also, I want to really stress for the people listening, when I keep making jokes about Dragon Ball Z, I'm fucking serious, all right? Like the fight between who I thought was the MC of the series and Zero, like they were literally flying up a giant skyscraper, like punch, like it was like a distant shot, and they're like hitting each other, flying back with like almost like aura around them. It looked like a Dragon Ball Z fight. Like that's what was taking place.
Also, by the way, of those characters from the anime in the Minato tribe, one of them is actually in the cast of this. As far as I'm concerned, everyone else is dead.
Is it the kid?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, which one is it?
It's the blue-haired guy who showed up after your dude died.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Shame that he died.
It also makes a thing that all the characters who were also part of tribes at one point in time, because Zero harasses all of them as each one comes up to bat, and he names them, says what tribe they are part of, and just like, and then mocks them.
God dang.
So yeah, after you lose the XB thing and have to join the XG games, so each of the numbers apparently has control of a city. Each city has a different death game. As it seems how gameplay is going to flow, you find the number, figure out what death game you're playing, and more or less find a way to get an advantage to then force them into a game of XB. Because the first city that we have access to, they were fighting number 1. His death game is flatter the president. The entire city is considered a company. Everyone is employees besides one person who's the director who can talk to the president, and you have to flatter the president to make him like you more, because once a week he just executes a regular employee just because he feels like it.
Just because he can.
And it's full on just Iron Maiden, shadow hands coming out of the president, pulling them into himself and stabbing him and bleeding him to death. It's quite graphic. It shows it.
Man, this game really is all over the place.
I'm going to be honest. If you go and look at the other games by the creator of this Danganronpa series, the Danganronpa games, 1, 2, and 3, and Despair Girls, as well as the one that came out on Switch, which I got to relook up the name at some point. This is standard. It seems wild to you if you've never looked into any of the games beforehand or stories. From my aspect, this is borderline standard.
This is just hitting the bar. That's all it's doing. John, you gonna play this?
Why would I play this? This doesn't sound like what I play.
Oh, this is definitely not John's game. Overall, though, I mean, the story's been very interesting and compelling. The combat, I'm hoping more comes out of it, because it's so far it's you get a squad of 3 that you set up, and then more or less it's just straight up fights against usually anywhere from 1 to like 6 enemies. 6 is the most I've had a fight so far, and it's just a straight beat 'em up. You can cause impairments, which allows you to chain attacks, and then everyone has ultimates. But the chain attacks are sort of a pain to pull off because you need the impairments. But pulling off impairments with most characters is sort of a pain, besides one. So I hope there's some improvement in there. The combat itself, I mean, it's fine for combat, but from me coming from Zenless, which is very smooth, very aesthetically pleasing and fun to do plus watch, it's a bit lackluster. Especially with the chain system not always being as consistent depending on which characters I have in the team. When I get to an actual non-tutorial XP fight, I will let you know on that.
Okay. I mean, please do, because I am actually interested in this game.
I mean, the exploration is fairly entertaining, though. I mean, they did add Dark Soul blood splatters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Nice.
since it is a gacha mobile game, anyone who's died to a enemy around, they leave a nice criminal investigation white mark with purple blood.
Love that.
And you can see what they were running, their levels, and what they were doing. So you can be like, well, that apparently didn't work.
Right. Love that. Here for that.
Each of the characters are very unique. If John watched the trailer, each of them sort of have their own little stigma of stuff. One's literally just rich. That's his whole stick. He's rich. He literally beats people with money.
Is that your character?
Nope.
You sure?
Yeah.
Positive?
Yeah, I haven't unlocked him.
Okay.
I got the big mercenary Gary with the hammer, though.
Love that. That's my kind of character.
Yeah, overall, the game's wild.
Okay. Was there any kind of indication when the full game was coming out?
Nope. Because closed beta is only running for a week. They haven't said whether they're going to reset our progress for everyone who's in it. I assume they are, because they're also, for the entire week, they're giving us stuff every day in the mail just to play around with, because they gave us a bunch of currency too and everything. So I very much assume our progress is going to be reset.
Right. That makes sense.
If not, that'll be curious to see, because we're just going to have a bunch of high-end stuff for no reason.
Right. Yeah. No, it probably will be reset. That makes sense.
But in terms of actual full release, has not said yet. This is the first playtest that they have done. So
probably a year or two.
If that. I mean, from what I'm playing right now, most of the stuff is fairly fleshed out for the content they've released. Just can do quality of life and just overhaul stuff for full release to make it more smooth.
Steve said this game is just weird. This was made by a person who threw everything in the closet and tried to shut the door instead of actually cleaning their room.
That's where you're wrong, Steve. They didn't throw everything in the closet. They threw everything into a cooking pot, put a lid on it, stirred that bitch, cooked it for 72 hours, came back ate it and went, delicious.
It's like, this is peak. Oh, jeez, man. Shout out to Tribe 9, dude. It was an all right anime. It was all right.
It was mid.
Didn't finish it.
If you go through the reviews, everyone's pretty much has it at mid.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. So I'm glad to know the game's wild and wacky. So shout out to that. You have anything else you want to add to it, or are you ready to hit the weekly wrap up?
Not particularly, no.
Okay, well, I guess another question. Do you have anything that you want to add in general, anything you want to chat about, or just go to the weekly wrap up?
I have finally gotten some information on Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Oh, here we go.
They actually released some stuff at a convention called China Joy in early July, late June. And finally, someone's put it up on their official sites and whatnot for English subtitles. More or less, it's just been some gameplay and overall gameplay flow of how the game's going to go. And there's going to be main focus on this new original character for the series, experiencing the events of the Three Kingdoms, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, more in-depthly. Because like in like the main battle gameplay that they showed, it was during one of the main fights you always do in the Dynasty Wars games, the Yellow Turban Rebellion. Mm-hmm. But usually that fight's like right at the end of it where they're cleaning up and finishing off the leader. Where this gameplay specifically showed a very early point where actually the rebellion was starting and you being sort of amongst it.
Right.
So more or less seems like your character's going to be just sort of a battlefield wanderer, just here and there, interacting with the historic officers here and there. Other point, they finally actually changed character designs for the first time in forever. So yeah, that's a Koei Tecmo thing that I thought would never happen, but
Shout out to Koei Tecmo for evolving.
I mean, overall, it's looking okay to me. It's better than what we got with 9 so far.
Oh, well, I guess that's the main plus. It's better than what the previous entry was. And assuming you put it that way, the previous entry was crap.
Oh, it was pretty rough.
Okay, all right, because I don't have context on that. So
They-
my context is what
They
you just
jumped
said.
on the open world bandwagon, and
Just let it go. Got it.
it's very obvious the Koei Tecmo's not doing open world again
Yeah.
anytime soon.
What about you? You got anything you want to throw out there before we hit the weekly wrap up? Negative. All right, let's hit the weekly wrap up then. So the first thing that I figured we'd hit, because it all went down last week, I did make a video about it, so if you haven't seen the video, you can go watch that. But I figured I'd follow up on the Bungie situation and just give anyone a chance to kind of give their thoughts on it, of just everything that's transpired with Bungie laying off like 200-something jobs. Bungie is essentially being taken over by Sony, which we kind of chat about before, that the final shape was going to kind of be the almost like the final chance for Bungie to survive, but it still wasn't enough. Because in terms of sales, apparently the final shape sold less than Lightfall, which was like considered the worst expansion of Destiny 2. And sold less than, so even though it was like critically, acclaimed, the final shape was, it just wasn't enough to save the current Bungie. Pete Parsons, the CEO of Bungie for many years, he is out the door. Herman Holst of PlayStation Studios is now taken over. Apparently, Pete Parsons, while all the layoffs were happening, he apparently bought like 20 plus retro cars and auctions and stuff, which put a bad taste in people's mouths that he was laying off hundreds and hundreds of people while he's just buying cars, CEO culture, whatever. But it's like the Bungie that we know, that we once knew, is like, it's been dead. But now it's just like, I feel like it's even further in the ground. And like, apparently from early, like any sort of early hands-on activity with Marathon, apparently Marathon's not looking too good. Destiny 3 wasn't even in concept. They never even had it in concept. They apparently had a Destiny spin-off game in concept. That's been shelved. But Destiny 3 just never even was a conversation point, was never even a possibility. Destiny 2 is now going to receive like 2 updates a year for free, and that's kind of where it's at. But I don't know, just kind of wanted to throw it in there as a follow-up since it all took place last week, and I don't know, give you either of you guys a chance to throw your 2 cents in on it if you want to, if you got anything. Because obviously, like I know it, like in your case, me and you, a lot of Destiny play between you and I, so I didn't know if you had anything to kind of chime in on this, especially with no Destiny 3 happening anytime soon.
It's a shame. Because, as we've said before, Destiny 2, it's a thing where I saw a video earlier where I've seen a couple videos where people who are Destiny players or Destiny content creators, I've seen videos where they like make a new account and they're like, okay, we got a goal to get to this point. Like one I was watching earlier was within 24 hours, can you go flawless in trials? Guy creates an account, cannot figure out how to unlock trials. And it's just one of these things where it's like, the game is so confusing.
Yeah.
It's like the game is so confusing to figure out what's there. For a new player, a new player would never get to the newest expansion. They wouldn't know how to get to it. They'd be confused on how to play through to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd be confused as hell when they went to try to buy it.
Yeah.
If you go look at like on Steam or something and click on Destiny 2, like the DLC packs, it's like 30 of them. I mean, it's an exaggeration, but there's a bunch of them. There's individuals, there's packs with stuff. It's Destiny 2 went for like Destiny. Destiny was a fairly simple game.
Yeah.
It's like it got a few expansions.
So to put it in perspective of the simplicity, I point this out in the video that I did. Like, I think what makes me and you look back at Destiny 1 so fondly, and a lot of people, is because it was simplistic. It was compact. It came out in 2014. Destiny 2 came out in 2017. That was our time span for Destiny 1, and look at Destiny 2 now. 2017 now, and it's 2024.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's like they've gotten a bunch of expansions in that. It's just a shame because like they went free to play a while back trying to bring in more players and that. But the problem is like the new player experience wasn't good.
Yeah, the new player experience is garbage.
The new player experience was garbage.
The returning player experience is garbage.
So it's like normally a game going free to play is supposed to boost up number of players and everything. I don't think it helped. And then it's like their new DLC drop, and it's like, okay, well, you can only. It's like you're not going to bring anybody back for that. You're only going to. That's for your current player base, because nobody who hasn't been playing Destiny is going to be able to jump in and play Destiny and figure out how to get to the new content.
Oh, not a chance in hell.
No.
And it's like, it's just one of those where it's like, it's weird. It's a weird world where it's like, oh man, it's like, it's weird that it was like, okay, this is your last chance or we're taking over. And it's like, okay, well, that's a instant fail.
Yeah. Because I mean, like I said, like critically, like they knocked out the damn park. But it's like, even still, it's like, because of what you're saying, where the new player and the returning player experience is so bad, I feel like that ultimately what killed it having any sort of commercial success. Because the fact that it sold worse than Lightfall, I saw that report. I'm like, no fucking way, because Lightfall was a shit show. Like that's shocking, bro.
Well, it's like a couple years ago they made it so hard to buy the new content.
Yeah,
because
they locked out a lot of content.
But they
vaulted all content.
Yeah, they vaulted it.
They vaulted content, but also buying content. They do so. They release DLCs, but then they release seasons, and then they release seasonal content that is separate from the seasons. Mm-hmm. So if you buy the DLC that at the start of a new season, you don't get the seasonal content and you don't get the season content.
Yeah,
it's 3 separate things. And it's like, and the various content that should have been like in Destiny 1 would have been one DLC pack.
Yep.
Is spread between all of them. So it's like you have to buy like 3 different things to actually get all the content that you should have gotten one $15 pack.
Right.
And it's just one of those where I don't like, it's a shame to see, because I mean, ever since the reports came out, this was the last chance. I'm like, well, I mean, Sony's going to end up taking over. Like, I mean, I try to be optimistic about it, but it's one where deep down, they're
it's going to happen.
They're taking over, because there's no way in hell any DLC for Destiny 2 was going to bring anyone back.
Yep.
The second someone loads back into it and sees all the new interfaces, everything new in the game, they're going to go, I don't got time for this.
Yeah. Yeah, and time is the most important currency. So that's the problem. No, the current just state of Bungie as a company is very interesting because it's like, man, now based on everything is riding on Marathon being a success, and that doesn't look promising.
And it's not
either.
promising.
So Bungie, like, while the Bungie that we know, like Sony is taking over and they're taking the reins, it's possible the brand, the name of Bungie could also be gone in a few years, which is crazy to think about. Like, it's like, where did things go wrong? Like, I don't know, dude. It's insane to think about on all fronts, on every aspect of the Bungie that we knew and loved, right? Because it's like, it's like, oh, bring us back to the Bungie that made all these great Halo games. Well, I mean, if you want to get technical, majority of that Bungie is 343 Studios. So what went wrong with 343 to give us 3 crap Halo games? But then also what's gone wrong with Bungie post Destiny 1, which, in my opinion, is Activision. I think Destiny 2 is an Activision play. Because I relate it similar to Overwatch 2 being a thing versus just keeping Overwatch is. Oh, Activision, like, oh, we need that 2 on there. We need to sell copies. We need to sell unit. Because I think look at Overwatch 2. Everything that made it special is now gone. Like they're
slowly bringing it back.
Yeah, they're bringing back just regular Overwatch with the 6v6 again.
Yep.
The only difference there is I think Destiny 2 did need to happen, but in the same way that Destiny 2 needed to happen, Destiny 3 should have happened like 4 years ago.
Oh my God, yeah. Destiny 2 is very well overstated.
Destiny 2 should have ended 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
And then, because it's like, I mean, you went through a cycle of every year releasing a DLC, and one was well received, one was not. One was well received, one was not.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody likes half the content that gets put into Destiny.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I think 2 needed to happen. 3 should have happened a long time ago.
And then we should have just ended the series and gone to a new IP.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like if you wanted to keep getting people to pay more money, well, stop making crappy DLCs and make a next game.
Yeah. Facts. Steve threw in the chat a few things. One, he agrees Destiny should have died like 2 years ago plus. I mean, I agree. Destiny 2 should have cut off years ago. He also said bring back Defiance. Best game that didn't get a fair chance. Defiance. So I don't know what Defiance is.
I'd have to look it up.
I was hoping one of you two did. I'm drawing the biggest blank on what this game is.
Defiance. I know what Defiance is. Okay. I played a little bit of Defiance. I wish I would have actually given it a fair shot when it was around, because the little I did play of it was pretty fun. I mean, honestly, if you made an updated version of that would be.
Was it a shooter?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you made an updated version of that, then yeah, I would jump in. I would jump in. That would be my new obsession for a few months.
That would be the new obsession, right? Okay. Let me see if I can look it up just so I can get a visual image on what we're talking about.
Defiant. It was like a third person.
Oh, okay.
It was like a third person MMO where you.
Oh, yeah, I remember playing that.
You probably clicked in your head there. Yeah, I played it some. Enjoyed what I played, but was obsessed. I think I was obsessed with like League or something back then.
Yeah, because I remember we touched on it a little bit. Because I remember playing with you once for like an hour or something.
Yeah, because that was back when we'd jump in and try any game that came out, and then just go back and play League or something.
Yeah, I do remember that now. Yeah, I mean it was actually fairly put together from what I remember. I just think it was too early on, so there wasn't a whole lot of content.
Yeah, because that was one of the things I think it came out. We immediately tried to play it and went, hey, they need to work out some stuff here.
And then it didn't survive.
Unfortunate. And that's why Steve's saying bring it back. Best game that didn't get a fair chance. So anyway, Bungie stuff is been interesting saga to follow. I also saw one, I'll throw this out and then we can move on. One tidbit that I thought was very interesting that apparently during the purchase, which let's remember, that was $3 billion. Apparently Bungie, like, I guess lied to Sony about like how much they were bringing in and how much they could make Sony, Which, if that's the case, oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, man. Just top to bottom, the Bungie situation is wild.
They didn't lie. They were just very good at articulating and speculating.
They weren't lying. They overblew their projections.
That's probably the best way to put it. Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. All right, let's move on. Let's go through the weekly wrap-up, boys. Next up, Rockstar Games confirms GTA 6 is still targeting fall 2025. The CEO has doubled down on that date.
Woo.
So shout out to that. Avowed has also been delayed to 2025.
Did you see the reason for that?
Yeah, dude, it was such a... I mean,
We calling bullshit?
I'm calling bullshit. They're just like... I mean, I do get it because it's like, it would have got lost in the shuffle.
I mean, it is a stacked time, but at the same time...
It's just like, we're delaying it so people can catch up on their backlogs and stuff. And I'm just like, you're just admitting that it ain't going to compete with these other games coming out this year.
I was about to say, who wrote this?
Chat GPT.
Also, when was it originally scheduled to come out?
They didn't give us a date.
They just told us
fall.
2024. Yeah.
Like it was being talked about in November, which
But even then, it's like,
So they pushed it back to February, right?
well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like you're pushing it. Even if it was December, it's like you pushed it to February, huh?
yeah.
Because people need to catch up on some stuff. That's 2 months, boy.
Right.
Come on.
I was about to say, how much is people going to get through their backlog in 2 months?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, it would have got lost in the shuffle. And
it would have.
And they realized that. And they realized they can't take an L like that. So them pushing it back with the statement of catch up on your backlog. And I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm calling bullshit.
Like, my interest in Avowed has dropped dramatically over
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, you're
By the
sad.
time, I was excited for it when it was first announced.
Yeah.
That's years ago.
Yeah.
And then I was excited for it when we first saw it, or when we saw the new version of
It's
it,
the
like last
opposite
year.
effect that you've had for Black Myth.
Yeah, and it's just the thing of like, the more they talk about it, I'm like, okay, yeah, legitimately stop talking about it and release it.
Right.
And then the next time they talk, we're gonna delay it by a couple months. By the time this game comes out, I'm not gonna care.
Oh, man, dude, that's funny. So, I don't know, shout out to the Avowed. Coming out now February 18th, 2025. Moving on from there, we have a Doom anthology that was announced. It is a physical edition as well, which is cool. I also saw where Limited Run is releasing like the original Doom on a SNES cartridge. It is like
Where did they dig those up out of?
right, yeah. You know, it's the NES, the Super NES cartridge they made. It's like a gunmetal gray color. It looks real nice. You can pre-order it right now. So it's like I saw that pop up and I saw the conversation.
Oh, so the
around-
reproduction. Gotcha.
it's a reproduction where it's just like, man, could this maybe open the door for some other older releases getting some reproduction releases like that? I mean, that'd be cool. Limited Run would be the one to do it. It'd take forever to get the game, but
I was about to say,
they'd be the one to do it.
I'm not getting my Juliet statue till May.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a hot minute, but they would be the one to do it. But anyway, shout out to Doom Anthology. It's got 6 games in it, so shout out to that, man. Sonic Generations is being delisted from Steam and other stores, but it will still be available via bundles.
That's genius.
I didn't get a reason why it was getting delisted. I have no clue.
I don't know either, but it's genius.
I mean, people are going to buy those bundles.
Yes, they are.
I saw the bundle on Steam for $60 that had Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, and I'm like, well, that's all I need to buy it. It's like, that's all I need. They had like 6 other games. It had Sonic 4, Episode 1 and 2. It had Generations.
Chaos?
I don't think so. I don't remember what the other game was, but hey, it had Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. That's all I care about. But yeah, I have no idea why Sonic Generations is being delisted, but
I don't know
whatever.
either, but it's genius that it's not just disappearing. They're just making it.
Part of a bundle.
Yes.
Yeah. I also saw where Sega trademarked Yakuza Wars. RGG is planning to reveal their next game at Tokyo Game Show. So I want you to know, as soon as I saw this, the first thing I thought of was like, is this the Yakuza Mario Party? It's like, could this be it? If this is a Yakuza Mario Party game and you just threw that out there to shoot the shit and just bullshit your way through this topic and it ends up being real, I'm convinced you have an insider.
See, meanwhile, I see Yakuza Wars. I'm thinking Yakuza characters in a Halo Wars game.
Oh, okay.
See, my mind immediately went RTS.
Yeah. Who knows what it's going to be? But it is trademarked. And like I said, they plan to reveal their game at Tokyo Game Show, which I believe is next month. So look forward to that. Also, you can look forward to Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes finally, because they are finally in full production. And Control 2 is apparently now in a playable state as a Q2 via Remedy. So good progress being made on all those. Borderlands movie came out and it is tanking. You know it's bad when you have a video game movie come out and the audience score is dog shit. Like the critic score, if that's dog shit, like all right, you know that's fine. They don't get
Dude,
it.
IGN gave it a 3.
Like, I mean, dude, it's got a 6% tomato meter and a 52% audience score. Like when you can't hit with the audience, you're struggling.
No, not even that. There's certain like there Borderlands content creators that I watch. Like I'll look them up on YouTube, like, and I'll just go down a stream. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch like a couple of your series that are like 20 videos long or something.
Yeah.
I just wait for them all to come out, and then I go check them out. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go watch a bunch of these. Man, they're all irate.
Yeah,
it's like because they've gone.
I'm
gonna
be honest. I don't know who in the Borderlands fan base thought this was gonna be good. Because from the moment I heard the cast, I went, "Why?"
Yeah, it's less like thinking it was gonna be good and just hoping it wasn't dog shit.
Right.
I've not seen literally anything from any of the stuff since the original announcement up to release that made me at any point think this is worth going to watch.
So I saw the newest trailer here recently when I went to go see Deadpool Wolverine, and I was just like, this just looks terrible. Like the jokes weren't even that funny, you know, because it's got Kevin Hart, so you got to have a lot of over the top Kevin Hart jokes. And
he's playing a character that should not do that.
I love me some Kevin Hart, but it's just like this just does not look good.
I'm sorry, when they told me Kevin Hart was playing Roland, I went, "Fucking kill me."
I didn't even. I've been so disconnected from this because I tell you when I lost interest in this. I've referenced this show this multiple times. Remember the Borderlands 3 reveal?
Oh yeah,
they tried to do a whole thing from like I'm pretty sure it was in this showcase. They tried to do a whole thing where they showed like a trailer or something of not even like a video trailer, like a trailer from the set or something.
It wasn't even a trailer. It was literally just behind the scenes footage on the set of the movie that one of the head guys of Epic was doing. And it was real cringy. It was like home video kind of thing.
It was.
Oh yeah, it's like
It's like he knocked on Kevin Hart's trailer towards the end and tried to get him. And Kevin Hart was not having any of it.
Yeah, you could tell Kevin was just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like you could tell he had no idea what was happening. You know what I mean? You could tell.
Yeah, it's like I lost all of my interest back then. I have retained no information about who is in this. I don't know any of the cast members, apparently, besides Kevin Hart playing Roland,
Jamie
which is
Lee's
fucking stupid.
The only reason I remember Kevin Hart is because I was a Roland main, and that actually fucking devastates me.
Jack Black is voicing
Clap.
Yeah, Clap. Kate, forgot her last name.
Which was the only decent casting in that whole set.
It's got a good cast.
No,
but just not for this. Just not for this. You know what I mean? I like a lot of the actors and actresses. Just not for this.
I want to point out, a movie doesn't have a good cast because it has like actors or actresses that you like. A movie has a good cast if they've been cast correctly.
That you'll see. What I mean is they have good actors and actresses, not a good cast of this film. That's like I like the actors and actresses they've got, just not a good fit.
I'm sorry. I read an article today that whoever the technician who worked on the Claptrap model for 5 months got no credit in the film.
I saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They spent 5 months working to get Claptrap working, and then they weren't credited or anything.
Wow, that's shitty. That's shitty. Oh my god. Fuck this movie. Oh geez. Well, on the opposite side of things, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is going to start filming in October. So shout out to that.
I was about to say FNAF's had a pretty good week.
Yeah, it has, because we also had Five Nights at Freddy Into the Pit that was released this week for the 10th anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's.
It is apparently exceptional for the horror fans out there.
Yep, I will be picking that up probably on Friday. Me and Christina are going to play it. So, the Trail series has passed over 8 million copies. So, shout out to that huge milestone. Who the fuck asked for this? I mean,
You?
No, I didn't.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Fan service? Yes.
No, I did not. I asked the question for Fairy Tail 2. Who asked for that? We had 2 new Fairy Tail games get announced. You got Fairy Tail Dungeons and Fairy Tail Beach Volleyball Havoc. You didn't see these?
I didn't see this at all.
I'm going to be honest. This did actually come up in my timeline. I went, is this a joke?
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it. Yeah, Fairy Tail Dungeons. Dungeon crawler, obviously, as you can base on the name, and then Fairy Tail Beach Volleyball Havoc.
Does the dungeon crawler at least look?
I didn't look into it. I was gonna let you do it.
I saw this stuff and was like, this has got to be a joke, and I just carried on.
Like, who asked for this?
I've played plenty of shitty dungeon crawlers. If it looks interesting, I don't care if it's Fairy Tail. I'll play a shitty dungeon crawler.
Like, look, I understand, like, the anime's
Beach
back
volleyball Havoc?
Yes.
That's gotta look like shit.
It does.
I gotta see this.
It does. Look, I understand the anime's back with 100-year quests, whatever. Like, that finally is getting animated.
but they're pushing this hard for
But
whatever
like,
reason.
there's no hype for Fairy Tail anymore. Why are we getting a new game? Why are we getting these? I don't understand.
Like, they're pushing Fairy Tail really hard for some reason.
I don't know why, man.
Over in the West. I don't know how it's looking over the
Oh.
East.
What? Oh, he looked up beach
That
volleyball.
road.
Looks good, right, John? You gonna play that, John?
This could with this art style. This could have been any generic volleyball game where the characters have powers.
I'm going to be honest. They should have gave it to the Dead or Alive team.
True.
It's pixel art.
They should have still given it to the Dead or Alive team.
This looks bad.
Who asked for this? Jesus Christ.
What's the other one?
Fairy Tail Dungeons. He's gonna confirm if he's gonna want to play this one.
Fairy Tail.
I mean, based on the name, I'm pretty sure it's a dungeon crawler.
I God hope it is.
I hope it is too, based on the name. Let me confirm.
Either that or you're making a dungeon.
It's a deck building roguelike. All right, there you
What?
go. Yeah, it's a deck building roguelike. It's what it is.
It doesn't look great, Zach.
I was about to say, why is that one of my fields? Get out, Doe. I don't want this.
You don't want Fairy Tail to come into your space.
No.
Oh man, who asked for this? Like,
Apparently some. Okay, so they're pushing Fairy Tail. All I can think is someone went, we need games to promote Fairy Tail. What are popular genres right now?
deck building roguelike, beach volleyball.
Because fan service game.
Yeah,
What was that noise?
John, what are you doing over there, bud?
The deck building roguelite might be fine.
Yeah, all right, he's gonna look at Fairy Tail Dungeons. There we go.
It
There
sounds
we
like he's looking at it.
Yeah, he's at least curious. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. So after 33 years, Game Informer has shut down.
That was actually depressing when I read that.
Yeah, it was.
I was actually sort of depressed.
Did you see that? Like, they put out a
Their shitty chat GBT?
no.
Do you see that?
Vaguely.
Is that Dungeons?
Yeah, that's a screenshot from there.
Okay.
That actually looks solid.
No,
It's like the best looking image of it, but
Oh, okay.
but it actually looks it looks like a game.
Okay.
yeah.
It looks better than the other one. The
Right.
volleyball thing is
The
it
volleyball
looks like
thing is
horse shit.
something. No, with the Game Informer thing, did you see where it's like? So I think it was GameStop that put up like the basically Chat GPT response, right?
Yeah.
But did you see that like someone at Game Informer put up like a heartfelt goodbye
Yeah,
on
I
the
read that.
Twitter,
Yeah.
and then immediately after the Game Informer Twitter, they shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't even find. It's not like normally that stuff stays active. You know what I mean? Just in case. Usually they don't delete socials, so you can still have the handle just in case, or they'll private it, or something like
Yeah.
that. No, they just straight up just delete the Twitter. Like right after the publisher, the head of publishing, put out the heartfelt
it was
thing.
just a whole shitty thing in general because like
Yeah.
the Game Informer team, they didn't even know they went into work to
Yeah.
find that they were all fired.
Right.
So like they got completely shafted in this.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks. Magazines are a dying breed, which is unfortunate. I have an ungodly amount of Game Informer in the house.
I had a fair amount.
So it's like, yeah, it's just kind of cool to hold on to that. But it's like, it sucks to see that Game Informer's gone. But It's kind of like when Nintendo Power went away. That was depressing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, damn, it's like been around for so long. Anyway, next thing, just want to shout out some Gamescom news. Got some games confirmed to be there. Civ 7, Monster Hunter Wilds, Metaphor, Black Ops 6, Dune Awakening, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. All confirmed to be there at Gamescom opening night live.
You know what else is at Gamescom?
What's that?
Hoyoverse.
Hoyoverse will be there.
And I'm not gonna lie, this little list of games you have right here that's gonna be there. I mean, minus like you take like Metaphor and Civ out of there, and weirdly enough, that's a list for me.
You're gonna have a good time with opening night live, then, my friend. Hosted by Jeff Keighley.
That is a hodgepodge of genres right there that I'm all for.
Yeah.
Wait, so you'd keep Dune Awakening, but take Civ 7 out? Why?
Because it's purely from the experiences that I've had in Civ.
Okay. Which are bad.
Yeah, which are bad. Whereas Dune Awakening would be a fresh start.
Yeah,
for
fresh.
RTS? Okay, that makes sense.
Civ is kind of, to me, like, it's got the same starting experiences
As
kind of
Gears?
as Gears. You knew I was going there. Where my first experience is getting shit on by my friends and not getting any guidance.
Yeah.
When they told me they were going to give me
And
guidance.
have never gone back since.
And I've had little to no interest ever since.
I knew exactly where that was going.
But at the same time, I respect and like the genre as a whole.
Right. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I respect that. Oh my god. All right. Next up, all we got left is Gamesthetic Game of the Week.
I've been gone for 3 weeks. Who's up?
So you
I went last week,
So
I think.
who's after you?
last
Is it
time.
me or Zach?
It's you.
Me. Oh shit! I didn't come prepared. Just like you didn't come prepared last time.
No, but I pulled something out.
Yeah.
So I always got 2 sitting on the burner in case it's me.
Right. Just ready to fire.
I've got a couple. I don't want to ever use them
Then what's the point?
because they're
One of them's Rocket League.
boring.
Yeah, one of them's
I don't want
Rocket
to talk
League.
about them anymore.
All right, so I got one because I just saw one of the one of the actors of the game. He's starting a new playthrough for it, so it's fresh on the brain. Let's shout out Detroit Become Human. PS4 game, phenomenal narrative experience, all about androids being servants to people, and it's focusing on 3 different androids who are basically breaking out of their coding and trying to become people. I'm drawing a blank. I think it's Brian. Brian Deckert is the guy who plays Connor. So he is starting a chronological playthrough of the game. So based on the dates in the game, the dates in real life is when he will play those missions.
Oh, that's going to take forever. Okay.
Yeah, no, he mapped out the full game. He put it up on his Twitter. So he's actually starting it, I think, maybe today. I think August 10th is where the first Connor mission takes place on the rooftop. And then, I think sometime here in a week or two, he'll play, the next 2 missions with the guy that was with the painter. I'm drawing a blank on that character's name, and Connor. And just going through a chronological playthrough of it, which I think is really cool. But the game is super fascinating. It has a ton of different routes to go through as you play through that can affect your overall experience. Like in Connor's case, you can kill Connor basically every Connor mission.
You get a little trophy for doing it, too.
Yeah, you do. And as you kill Connor every single time, you lose the ability to make him human. Because he's
reset.
He's constantly getting reset. Or you can just make the decision where he doesn't die and sacrifice himself in situations for the mission, following his coding, and have the opportunity to break out of his coding later on in the game and basically start a revolution in Detroit of androids versus people, of androids just wanting rights and wanting to be viewed as humans as well. Super fascinating game. Lots of butterfly effect stuff. Lots of different ways to kind of go about and experience different situations. So definitely should check that one out. I mean, it's on PlayStation Plus, I believe, if you've got that. It's fairly cheap just to pick up. Really recommend it. Great game. Great for multiple playthroughs.
Know what's coming up? Are we done with Game of the Week?
Done with Game of the Week. Gamesthetic Game of the Week done.
Okay. You know what's coming out this month?
What?
The casing of Frank Stone.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ, Zach.
We're going to have a watch party? Watch party?
Watch party? We might. When does it come out?
I think it's 20th something of September. Oh, wrong month. Month early.
Month early. Damn it, Zach.
So not this month, next month. My bad.
All right.
I got happy for it.
Frank Stone. Casting Frank Stone. Yeah, September 3rd. That's gonna. Is it coming to Game Pass?
Nope.
Okay. Well, damn it. It says it's coming to
I
Xbox.
don't know
though.
what the fuck that is.
The next Until Dawn game.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a Dead by Daylight spinoff, but it's made by like Until Dawn team.
Okay, I know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah, the casing Frank Stone.
Yeah. Speaking of Until Dawn, I did see that apparently an Until Dawn sequel could be happening right now. The team that it's doing the Until Dawn remake, whatever. Apparently, they are confirmed to be working on another horror project that is not a new IP, and there were some other indications that it could be an Until Dawn too.
We gonna go up the hill and get killed by more Wendigos?
That's what I'm wondering.
I would at this point rather them make another one instead of just porting it.
Yeah.
Because as great as Until Dawn is, let's get something new.
Yeah. I agree. He doesn't need the remake. Very
that's why
excited
we got
for
the
it.
quarry.
But we did get the quarry. That director's mode was so fun.
That's a great comedy game.
That director's mode is awesome.
Who? Once that character lost his hand, he came so much better.
Yep. Was that the one kid who was in Detective Pikachu? I don't remember the actor's name.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know. No, I don't think it was. It was the white guy who was sort of an ass to everyone.
Oh, okay.
As soon as he lost his hand, he became such a better character.
Yeah. Quarry's a really fun game. The sad part is none of us have actually played the Quarry how it's supposed to be played.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Dude,
Okay.
yeah, he actually.
I did an actual playthrough with one group of friends over Discord, and then I did the director mode with you two.
Yeah, director mode's all I've done. I started a normal playthrough, and all I did was director mode with you guys. And I was like, this is so much better.
all of these games that are like this that have like branching paths, they should
Yeah.
all have a director mode.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yes.
Director mode is awesome. That's got to be a mainstay, dude. Oh, you know what? I wonder if they'll actually include that with Until Dawn remake.
Probably.
If they do, I'm down to sit down and
Oh
watch it.
my god, yeah, we have to. Dude, please have a director mode with Until Dawn remake.
Because, I mean, they've been playing with that stuff, even with the Dark Anthology stuff.
Yeah.
Because the Dark Anthology, not the first two, but I want to say House of the Devil, I think, has director's mode.
Okay. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, if Until Dawn remake's got a director's mode, we gotta lock that in, boys. Like, I'm here for that. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait to see how that one's gonna play out. Especially if we can go through the full extent that the Quarry allowed us, where we can choose who's a dumbass and who's not.
I'm pretty sure we set one person to smartest person ever,
It was a character he liked.
Yeah.
and one person to dumbest ever, and then everyone else was middle.
And the thing is that made it so interesting with the smart character is she almost got fucked so many times because the characters around her.
Yes.
That's the best part. She's not guaranteed to live just because he's the smart. She may get fucked by someone else.
She will make all the right choices when she's in control.
Yeah, but she's not always in control.
And it's great because when everyone else is middle, you have no idea where this is going.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, dude, I love the Quarry. Director mode's awesome.
So many characters die.
All right, boys, I'm gonna hit the music. Let's wrap up the show. Let's go around the room.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. Comments, games, old, new, retro, weirdness.
Wukong.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Do everything he said more. And if you liked what you saw with us here and want to come check us out live, we do these live streams every Saturday about 6 p.m. Central Time. So you can come check us out then.
And you can also check us out over at our Patreon, and we'd appreciate that. The link is down in the description below as well. Check out some Rogue Energy and Agent Inc. Join the Discord, be a friend, tell a friend. We'll be back next week talking about, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But then the week after that, though, we'll be talking about Black Myth Wukong, so that's exciting. 10 days. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye.